Namaste guys and bonjour. Welcome to the fourth episode of Walk the Talk. I'm your host Crypto Gurkha and today we will be meeting the team of Braavos here in front of the Louvre, and we'll be talking about their wallet and philosophize a little bit about self-custody. So I hope you enjoy this episode and tune in. So, hi guys, as mentioned, we're meeting the team of Braavos today, but Motty is here. I expected two people, but I'm happy that you're here. And how are you so far?
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being part of this fourth episode in Walk the Talk. So we're here in Louvre, and I think without further ado, let's start our walk. And my first question for you would be, who are you? How did you come to crypto, and what's your motivation in crypto?
Well, I'm what you can call a Web2 entrepreneur. So I spent most of the last decade running a company I co-founded in the pay TV space, doing everything from AI and video understanding to cloud software, embedded software, and even in the initial years, physical hardware. I had manufacturing line in China and in Taiwan, shipping goods all over the world. So quite the operation. And I heard about crypto. I mainly heard about the FUD of crypto. You know, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, and didn't really had time. You know, running a company, didn't really had the time to dive into the industry. So I'm what you can call a latecomer into crypto. I started diving deep, I think a year and a half ago, something like that. I had a few months in which I explore in depth all the technologies, the different L1s, and the different scaling solutions on top of Ethereum, and decided to settle on StarkNet and start building. You know, it took some of the people that worked with me in the past, and we started building on StarkNet. The first protocol that we built is a classic AMM DEX. It's called MySwap. It's the first DeFi app to launch on StarkNet.
Interesting.
On StarkNet testnet back in the day. And now we focus on Braavos, which is a smart contract-based wallet, as you know. I guess we can elaborate on that.
Could you tell our viewers what is Braavos exactly? And it's a special kind of wallet. It's not a normal wallet. Some viewers don't exactly know what it is.
Yeah. So, you know, there are, I don't know, gazillion wallets out there, right? There are many crypto wallets out there. Some of them are good. Some of them are, let's say, better. But I think the common thing of all of them is that they are all client-side wallets, meaning they don't have any manifestation on-chain of their account. So so that makes them, I would say, quite limited in terms of what they can offer to the users from a UX point of view. Basically, when you don't have, or I would say that differently, when you have a manifestation of your account on-chain, you can have a logic on-chain. Your actual wallet is not only on the client side, but it's on the blockchain and can run logic for you, and that opens a wide range of opportunities in a new design space that will enable us at Braavos to bring what we feel as a much better UX that is really needed into the crypto space.
Yeah, that's very important. I agree. You also introduced the UX with the NFTs, right? So you can basically see the NFTs literally on the wallet.
Yes, we introduced NFTs, images, 3D images, audio NFTs, video NFTs that you can see them from within the wallet. Of course, backed by StarkNet. We also introduced a few very important features. At least I believe that they are very important features, such as transaction explainer. You know, when I started in crypto and I need to sign transaction in MetaMask, I didn't really understand what I'm signing on. And you know, I'm pretty technical. So what we implemented in Braavos is the ability to have human-readable kind of transactions, so users will actually understand what they are signing on, what they are approving, what they are swapping, what they are buying, what they are minting, what kind of permissions or access they give to the different protocols, which I think it's a key element in making crypto more accessible.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool feature, because a lot of people literally got wrecked on OpenSea because they signed certain kind of smart contracts because they received, I don't know, some NFTs, which was a special transaction, right? So it's good to know that what you're signing, because most of the people really don't know what they're signing. Like me myself, I'm always cautious what I sign, even though I don't understand, but I try to like get a background of it, take a look at the ether scanner and stuff like that. So yeah, that's actually a very cool feature.
Exactly, and if I may add, then you know, the fact that we have a smart contract which represents your account allow us to protect the users in various ways and give them an experience which is much more like the experience that they are used to from Web 2. So we can do two-factor authentication, which is completely decentralized. And we can allow for account segmentation, meaning I can have my saving accounts and I can have my checking accounts, and these accounts can have different withdrawal limits and different time delays. If we will compare it to traditional finance and you know, an ATM card, when I go with my ATM cards to the bank, I cannot withdraw from the ATM all the money that I have in the bank, right? I can withdraw a certain amount, and that's good. That's a good behavior, because you don't want that your ATM, if your ATM gets lost, then your account, bank account gets drained. There is a limit of how much you can lose, and I think these kind of mechanisms are imperative to implementing crypto in order to increase mass adoption.
So to speak, smart contract wallets have higher security measures, and could you explain us maybe more about the two-factor, decentralized two-factor? That's what you said, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What is that exactly? How does it work?
I think that it's not that they have necessarily higher security measures. I think that they can reduce the security burden and the price of mistakes from the user's shoulders, and it can be more tolerable to mistakes and more tolerable to, let's call it, human behavior, right? Because humans are not machines. You write your seed phrase that for a wallet that you created a year ago or 2 years ago, and you know you need to keep it all these 2 years, and sometimes things get lost, and sometimes you know, things disappear or get stolen, and in that sense, I think that having account on chain allows us to mitigate some of these burdens or some of these hurdles. Now, the fact that we have an account on chain allows us to have multiple signatures for a transaction, which is imminent to the intrinsic to the account itself. That means that if I want to do, let's say, two-factor authentication, then I can design my account in such a way that not only that I sign with, let's say, my browser extension, my Braavos browser extension, but I also have to sign with my mobile wallet. So in order for transaction to get through, I need the two signatures. And this is something which is fairly straightforward to implement in smart contract-based wallets, and it's extremely secure. And let's say it mimics or it duplicates the experience that Web2 users are already familiar with. And again, as I said, I think these kind of minimizing the gaps, the UX gaps between Web2 and Web3, these are the important things that can bring mass adoption into the space.
I do agree, yes. Regarding multi-signature, does it have to be on my mobile app, or can my friend, for example, be a guardian or the guy who signs the second just the second signing?
So that's the beauty in smart contract-based wallet. You have a logic on chain, so you can implement in this logic whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
So it can be your friend, it can be 3 of your friends, it can be 2 out of 3 of your friends, it can be, whatever you want. And all these features will come to Braavos in the next few weeks and months.
So in case if you've got a divorce and it's your wife, could be a little bit tricky.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, that's very cool.
Yes. So that's why maybe you want to have not only one guardian.
Yeah.
Not only one escape route. You want to have, let's say your wife and your sister or your brother.
Yeah, I think family would be a little bit better than the wife.
Well, you're not married, right?
Yeah, I'm not married.
Because a married guy wouldn't say such a sentence out loud.
Okay. So what is the target group of users for Braavos? Like crypto natives or just average new users?
So maybe I will take it a step back, and then I can dive in and focus on the actual target group. When I started my journey in crypto, and as I told you, it was like I came late into the space. There were a few things that I thought that could happen into the future. Things like financial deplatforming that we saw. Only this year we saw like 3 very strong examples of that. We saw the trucker protest in Canada in February. We saw the awful war in Europe between Russia and Ukraine, and we just saw in the past few weeks the situation in China with the bank runs. Now, in all of these cases, people got financially deplatformed, right? They had no access to their hard-earned assets, and in some cases also to the financial system at large. And I think this is something that in Braavos, this is something that we really want to change. Now, when I look at the space, the amazing fact that keeps amazing me is that even today, the early adopters in crypto, like the 200, 300 millions that already are using crypto, they use centralized solutions. Most of them, like 80-90% of them, use centralized solutions. So even these early adopters don't really use crypto as the crypto values. They use the crypto rails, like the tokens and the blockchain, but they don't really use the self-custodial and decentralization manner of crypto. And you can blame them, because I think that the experience today that centralized and custodial solution gives is significantly better than what decentralized solution gives. And in Braavos, our mission is to change that. We want to give as good or even better experience than centralized and custodial solution have in the decentralized and self-custodial realm. And I believe that this is what will drive people from the centralized solutions into the decentralized world. So our long-term target users are the mass population. You know, I think that most of us in the space believe that crypto is the future, and everyone has their own time horizon, if it will happen in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. But we believe that crypto will be everywhere. And our long-term target audience is to really cater for the mass market. And the first flag, the start.
Maybe let's take a seat. Sorry.
Yes, of course. Is to start with those early adopters that are already in crypto, but they are on centralized solutions, and they got burned from centralized solutions. We saw what happened just now in the past couple of months with Celsius and alike.
Yes.
Some people thought they are in crypto, thought they own their assets, and oh, that's amazing. That, I thought that's locked. They thought they owned their assets, and actually that wasn't the case. And they got locked from their assets in the best case, and lost their assets, lost their money in the worst case.
Luckily I never used Celsius, but they've got a lockup period, right? So it was quite crazy what happened. Like, it started with Luna, and the domino effect happened one after another, liquidations. But I had a conversations recently. It just shows how strong actually our ecosystem really is, and they could like kind of handle this kind of huge volumes all together. So yeah, you also mentioned the bank run in China and the war in Ukraine. I think coming from Nepal, these kind of third world countries, I think, or sorry, not third world countries, developing countries, it sounds a little bit better. I think Web 3.0 will be implemented way quicker than in Europe, that's my opinion. And but I believe they need certain kind of education. So what are your thoughts on this? Like, how can we educate people from Nepal, so to speak?
So I think what you're have started doing, it's great. And as much as we do these kind of content, both video, audio, and written, and people will understand the real value and the potential, not only in crypto, but in decentralized, self-custodial crypto, on the one hand, and on the other hand, we will give them an experience that you don't need to be a tech genius in order to use these solutions. Then this what will bring, I think, people all over the world, not only third world countries, because you know, we discussed on what happened in Canada, and what happened in, like, Canada is a first world country, a democracy. True. You know, like the last place that you thought that this kind of mass violation of basic civil rights can happen. You know, in China you say, okay, that's China, that's part of the territory, but in Canada that was like real, like a real red alarm.
Yeah.
So
that was quite shocking, and then they also banned the exchanges in Canada, if I'm also not mistaken.
Yes. And that's the problem with centralized crypto solutions. In essence, they are not different than the traditional banking system. When they get an order from the government, they have to comply or they will go to jail. Now, you know, it's not that I think that we should allow criminal activity, not at all. But I think that we need to balance between the huge amount of power that the state has compared to our civil rights. And take the example in Canada. In Canada, without due process, in a press of a button, a clerk in the regulator, a clerk in the regulation system can decide, oh, I think that this guy was in the protest, and deplatforming. Now, I'm not even saying anything about the protest, about what the protest was, whether it was justified or not justified, whether it was they broke the law or did not break the law, whether they were annoying as hell or wasn't annoying. But the fact that someone without due process can say, oh, I think that you were protesting and that's why click ID platforming you, and you don't have access to anything of the financial system. You cannot buy water and bread in the supermarket. I think this is really alarming.
Livelihoods were at risk. I mean, these truckers were actually just working, trying to provide their family, and one day after another they couldn't provide their family because they were locked from banking, so to speak. It's crazy. Yeah, it's quite surprising that something like that could also happen in a first world or a developed country. I mean, I don't know how I could handle that, to be honest, if my banking would be cut out, if I would have a family or something like that, without proof, let's say. So yeah. In Nepal, it's like, the problem is people don't really have full control about of their banking. So, most of these people are living in the mountains and they're not really educated how like this kind of systems work, but they do have a mobile. So that's actually
which is amazing, because you have the entire knowledge of the world in the palm of your hand. And with crypto, you also have access to decentralized money. Yeah. And hopefully in the near future, you will also have access to decentralized data. Yeah. And you will be able to own your data as opposed to companies who own your data. And I think that's another process in making the world much flatter, and making the starting points more equal between third world and first world countries. There's still a long way to go, but at least there is a start. Yeah.
Sooner or later, in my personal opinion, so it will take some time definitely, but it will come. So that's the horizon, I guess, we're heading to. So, like, if I would say self-custody is also self-sovereignty, what do you think about that? If that's my statement, let's say.
Yeah. So it really summarized nicely everything we've just discussed, right? Self-sovereignty, as we said earlier, we don't want to allow criminal activity, right? We all want to live in a society which people obey the rules, but we do want to make sure that the power of governments will be balanced by a counterpower of the individual. And currently, today, with the financial system today, unlike no other period in history, the ability to cut people, to make them unsovereign, is amazing. Now, maybe for people who are saying, oh, but the company, the country, the state has to have control. I think that the most the nicest example is the early days of the internet and the browser, in which the U.S. government they forbid on companies, early browsers such as Netscape, to export their browser with security enabled. So they had, like back in the days, they shipped software like in boxes.
Okay, yeah.
So they had two boxes. One box with security inside, so you had like HTTPS for US users, and a different box that they shipped overseas that didn't have HTTPS. There was no security, everything was open on the internet, because the Department of Defense said that security, that's a national concern. It's like a Tomahawk missile, and you need an approval in order to ship it abroad. And they said, oh, if you ship it abroad, we won't see everything that goes on the internet. And if we won't see everything that goes on the internet, there might be criminal activity, and we won't be able to control this criminal activity. But luckily for us, people come to their senses, and we have now internet with security.
Thank God.
And government still finds way to enforce laws and put criminals in jail, while not invading, you know, in a very abrupt way to our privacy. And I think, you know, we always, in democracy, we always need to keep this balance.
I mean, speaking of privacy, and what are your general thoughts about Starkware and StarkNet? I think privacy plays a huge role as well. Like, yeah, just what are your general thoughts about the ecosystem and of layer 2? I would be curious to know.
Well, you know, the funny thing is that StarkNet is a zero knowledge rollup, which is a great marketing name, but it's not actually zero knowledge.
Okay.
It's more of a validity rollup. It validates your transaction, but you can still derive information from the proof. It's very hard and very complex, and but it's not completely zero knowledge. I think that when I got into the industry, one of the things that amazed me is that there was a lack of privacy completely. Like, let's say that if you will transfer $5 from your wallet to my wallet, for whatever, I can see all your past transactions that you did so far, and that's like amazing. And think about enterprises and SMB companies. You know, if I pay one supplier, then they can see all of the transactions that I did up until now, with other suppliers, with the competition. The competition can see that. So I think that this is not sustainable, and I think this is for sure something that we as an industry, and we at Braavos, we need to solve in the way to full and complete mass adoption. Because you don't want to, you know, you pay at Starbucks for coffee, you don't want that the clerk there will know everything that you bought in the past few years, and that simply doesn't make sense. And as I said, in business, it's even, you know, it's even worse.
That was, yeah, actually my friends and I, we always joke around because we know our wallets, and then sometimes I stalk my friends and they stalk me, and like, you did this and that, what did you do? None of your business, bro.
Yeah, you cannot bluff on your crypto strategy.
Yeah, you can't. You can.
Yeah. They see how much you earned and how much you lost.
How much you lost, that's true. So, but like, what are your general thoughts about StarkNet ecosystem? Because you were there at the hackathon as well. You were a judge. Braavos was a judge there. So yeah, what's
So I think, you know, the ecosystem evolved dramatically. I always say that I'm late to crypto, but I'm very early to StarkNet. So we've been building on StarkNet, I think, from the early days, or you know, we were quite early. Everything also now is it's very early, but last year, at the end of last year, was extremely early. You know, the Discord was like us and 2-3 more groups, and I see the exponential adoption of StarkNet and the amount of new developers that are coming, and the libraries that that people in the ecosystem build, and the amount of new projects that are being developed, and I think it's really amazing. Yeah. You know, when we started, like, as I told you, we looked deeply on the different L1s, and we said, okay, Ethereum is the future. It has in our opinion, it has the best case to be the winning network, but it has a scaling problem. Scaling problem will be solved by rollups, and then we look on all the rollup solutions, the different optimistic rollups and ZK rollups or validity rollups, and we concluded without a doubt that StarkNet by Starkware has the most mature technology, and it has the most future-proof technology. And I assess that eventually all the other rollup solutions will converge into Stark proofs as well. But we had a concern regarding Cairo, which is the programming language that you need in order to write contracts on top of StarkNet, which is completely different from Solidity, which is the language you use in Ethereum, and it's more or less the industry standard for smart contracts. And also here, I think that the adoption is very good and surprising for the best. And I think that if it will keep this trajectory, then there is a good chance that StarkNet will win the L2 space and will be, the dominant kind of rollout. But I think that, as they say in America, the jury is still out on that.
Yeah.
We need to see if we will have a one dominant L2, or there will be like one dominant L1 that we have, or there will be multiple L2s. So it will be interesting.
Yeah, the community, the ecosystem really exploded. I mean, like I started reading into it also around January, start of the year, and then I took a look at all the rollups. I'm not a developer, right, but I've been in crypto quite a while, so for me it was just simple. I think a little bit more simpler. StarkNet, Starkware was quite intriguing for me, and because it was intriguing, it automatically pulled me in, and I slowly came into the in the wormhole, and it sucked me in, and I'm here to stay, I guess. So I already met very interesting, very smart people, especially in the hackathon. It's amazing. It was a great experience for me as well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes up, if we keep the momentum, but I guess so we'll keep the momentum, yeah.
Definitely. That's why we are all here for. And at Braavos we put all our chips on StarkNet. This is the sole network that we are working on. This is the sole network that we are developing on, both the wallet itself as well as libraries for the community. We put our money where our mouth is, so to speak. We put our time and effort where
I think
our mouth is.
we're together on this boat now. So I guess that would be the final question. Thank you very much. It was a great walk and talk. Guys, follow Motty. I'll put in some links down below. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure as well. All right. Goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.